Hey everyone, Brandon Stiles here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get almost anyone's email address, even those kind of hard to find executives. I found actually the emails for the CEO of Coke, the CEO of Chick-fil-A, and the CEO of Home Depot, all by using this method. So it works pretty well. I'd say it's probably about an 80 to 85% success rate. Now, those aren't scientific numbers, but I have really good success with this. So, little caveat before I show you this, use these techniques for good. So don't get these emails and then just start blasting these people and being like, hey, blah, 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 take, buy from me, buy from me. Only email these kind of high value influencers and executives if you can actually add value to them or help them. Because if you're just emailing to take and take, first of all, you're going to annoy them. Second of all, they're not going to respond back to you. And third of all, it's just bad karma all around. So that's my little caveat, disclaimer. The techniques I'm going to teach you in this video, use them for good. So let's get into it. As you can see, I've just got plain old good old Google pulled up on my screen. And let's say if you were in the, you wanted to reach orthodontists or something like that. So in Dallas, Texas. So let's type that in. Orthodontists pulls up right there in Dallas, Texas. So Google's going to pull up this list. You can see these ads up here. Now, most people, if they want to try and, let's say, help or market or get leads from plastic surgeons, are going to do what? Well, they're going to go to that number 2 result right there and just start clicking away and sending out. But here's the problem with that, is that if a business is on page 1 of Google, they've probably got all the help they can get and plenty more where that came from. So you don't want to target these first page people because they've probably got another agency involved, or they've got another company or website design company or whatever you're doing handling their management. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to scroll down and you're going to go to page 3, page 4, page 5, something like that. Because these are the people that usually don't have all the SEO help. And if they don't have that, you know that there's probably other areas where they're lacking. And it might be a little bit easier to get to them if they're not shelling out the big bucks. So let's scroll down. I'm just going to look for something here. Scott Evans. Let's click on this. So first thing I'm seeing is the website looks pretty good. There's Dr. Scott, handsome fella. Looks pretty good. So let's say I wanted to reach out to Scott. Well, let's go to the contact page, see if it's there. All right, there's send a message, but you know that's probably just going to go to some secretary or some office manager. I want to get the real guy. So let's go to meet Dr. Evans, see if there's anything there. Little bio, but still no email address. So what can you do? Well, I'm going to take note of this domain name right here. I'm just going to copy it. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to go to emailchecker.net. Now, there's a lot of these free tools out there that you can use, but this one's really simple and straightforward. So you would be surprised how many people's emails are just their first initial, last name, at their domain name. This is how I found the CEO of Coke's email, by doing this exact same process. So let's try it. So paste in the domain name. I'm going to delete this at. So his name is Scott Evans. So let's try that. S. Evans. It's going to send out a bounce, and then it's going to say unknown. So maybe that's not it. So another thing that I found out in my experiments is that, especially when you're dealing with doctors, sometimes they go by their title. So in this case, it would be Dr. Evans. So let's see if that works. We're going to check this. That's going to give us an unknown too. And sometimes you'll run into that, all right? But here's another tool for when this happens. And so you're going to go over to hunter.io. And this is a free service. There's paid, but you can sign up for a free account. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to dashboard. I'm going to go to verifier, and I'm going to try that from right here. Let's go back to Dr. Evans at straightortho.com. Let's hit verify. Boom, valid email address. So now I have his email, and all I have to do is copy and paste that. So we went from finding something that's totally unfindable to getting an email right there. I'm going to show you another trick. Let's say if I wanted to get a lot of orthodontists' personal emails, okay? So I'm going to see if there's an association, Orthodontists Association. You're looking for national associations or places where they gather. So here, American Association of Orthodontists. All right, so we're going to copy this right here. I'm going to paste it into this. So there we go. And in front of it, I'm going to type in site. So that tells Google to look in this site. Then I'm going to scroll to the end. And in quotation marks, I'm going to put at. And then I'm going to put a email service provider. So at, let's say, yahoo.com. And you're going to hit search. Now look at this. You've got 20 results. And this is going to give you the direct email for all these orthodontists. So now you have 15, 20 or so personal emails for these orthodontists that you can reach out to. All right, let's see if there's any for Gmail. 42. So they come up right here. All you have to do is copy and paste those. So that's another quick way to get some email addresses. So let's say you wanted to find some general contractors. So I'm going to type in General Contractors Association. If you know a special site where a lot of general contractors congregate, you should totally go with that. I just picked something out of the air here. agc.com. I'm going to post that here. Again, we're going to say site, paste that in, and then I'm going to, in quote marks, say at gmail.com. Let's see what this pulls up with. 194,000 results. Now, this is still not very scalable, and you do have to go through and kind of vet these, but it will give you a huge head start on finding actual people to reach out to. Now, when you find these people, what are you going to do? How do you reach out to them? And what's even better, how do you know those reach outs are effective? Well, you have to come up with a script. And this is what I do. So there's lots of clipboard management programs you can download. The one I use is called Clip Menu. And what Clip Menu is it allows you to go into an email and to hit a shortcut, which I'm going to hit right here. Bam, pops up. And then you can see these are my email templates right here. And all you have to do is click that, and then I just fill in a blank and send the email. So let's say I wanted to email this person right here. It's a contractor, bugconst@gmail.com. So I'm going to go in there real quick, see what this person does. So it looks like it's just some sort of it's a general contractor for Bugambilias Construction. Of course, I picked the hardest thing to pronounce. But anyways, so I'm going to take a look at their site real quick. Alright, looks legit, and I'm just going to reach out. Now watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over to my email provider, which is Newton. This is my third-party email thing. And I am going to just open up a new email, paste this in, say, here's the trick with writing good email subjects, is to make it sound really normal and not spammy at all. So a lot of times I will say, I'll go back to their company name, which is Bugambilias Construction, and I'm going to say Bugambilias and a thank you. ... 2 dots. Now notice how I didn't capitalize that, because this looks a lot more personal, right? And someone's going to open that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up my email template application, and I'm just going to send this initial email, and boom, propagates like that. and see where these X's are. Now this is for a wedding company, but where those X's are, I'm just going to fill in the name. So let's just say the guy's name was Andreas, and we'd love to perform for you and your company, or in this case, you and Bugambilias, and then I would hit send. Now, one more little trick is this program I'm using is called Newton. It's $50 a year, but it's really cool for your reach out purposes. Why? A few reasons. One is it has read receipts. So if I send this email out and in a few minutes I get 2 little check marks, I know that Mr. Bugambilias has read the email, and I can either follow up with him knowing that he's read it, or if he never reads it, I could say, well, then maybe that's not his email address. Another cool thing you could do, so right now it's 5:25 p.m., so he's probably off from work. Well, what if I wanted to send it to him first thing in the morning? So it's maybe the first email that's popped up in his system. Well, I'm going to go up to here, send later. I'm going to say tomorrow at 7 a.m. And then I'm going to click don't send if a recipient emails me. Now, why would he? Because he's never heard of me. But that's really good for a follow-up email. And I'm going to hit done, and then send later is what I would hit. So Newton email is really great because you can do send laters, and it has read receipts. So if I went back to my inbox, these double check marks means that the email has been read. So this one has not. These 4 have been read. So that's a good kind of tutorial on how to find anybody's email. Really what you do is you go into the Hunter.io or the email verifier, check. Again, it's not scalable, but it's really good for getting those higher up executives. Then you're going to have your email scripts pre-propagated so that you can fly through that part. And then I recommend getting a third-party email app so that you can send later and you can have read receipts so that if people read it, you know kind of what your next move should be. So that is how to find anyone's email.